Hello, everyone, and happy Fun Fold Friday. Oh, thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I am going to use the star from the Christmas Tidings bundle and create a window for my Z Fold. So it's a little different kind of card today. I'm real excited to show you how to do this and how pretty it is too. Hello and welcome to Creating with Kristina. My name is Kristina Reese and this is Creating with Kristina. I come live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on my Facebook page at 9:30 a.m. Central Time here in Texas to share card making tutorials with you. And on Fridays, I always share a fun fold with you. So, okay, and one more thing before we get started. Move that over. Sunday is the last day to sign up for this card kit that I have, and it is a Fun Fold card kit, and I've had quite a few of you already sign up for it. Thank you very much, and you should have gotten a email saying congratulations, you have successfully signed up for the card kit. But if you have not signed up and you would like more card kit Fun Fold ideas, especially this one. I love this one. This is a really fun one. Be sure to sign up for it. And you can just go to my blog, creatingwithkristina.com, and you will see how to get there. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the descriptions below. Okay, so let me get back to what I'm doing here. Whoa, that. All right. Take that off of there, take that off of there. There we go. Okay, we're set. Okay, so I'm calling this the Z Fold or Star Window Z Fold card, okay? And I want to share with you the material. Well, let's look at the card. Here we go. Good morning, you guys. I see all your names popping up. I have Stephanie McKnight and Barbara Drake and Katie Lay. Good morning, you all. And for those of you watching as a replay or on YouTube, this is a Facebook Live over on my Facebook page. Okay, so this is the card. And at first, you think, oh, that's really pretty, simple. But then when you open it, ta-da! Isn't that cool? I love it. All right, I'm going to show you how I put this together. And I used tidings and trimmings along with the coordinating dies, and the dies are called Christmas trimmings, and the whole bundle is called Christmas Tidings bundle. All right, so that's what I'm using there, and I'm going to put that to the side for a minute. And the paper, this is like the most Christmassy paper. I love this. It's a real red and pear pizzazz with a little bit of the morning meadow. What do they call it? Mossy meadow. There, the dark green mossy meadow. Oh, it was right here. Mossy Meadow, Pear Pizzazz, Real Red, and Whisper White. And it's just very traditional Christmas paper. So we're going to be using that. Okay, what else are we going to be using? Some ink and, some gold foil, of course, some adhesive sheets, gold twine, and some gilded gems. So, the first thing that we need, of course, is a base, and here is my base, and all of these are going to be over on my blog. So if you don't want to write all this down, you can look up at the blog. Oh, that's not what I want. There's the blog, creatingwithkristina.com, as soon as I get it typed up and posted. And then I always put, announce in my Facebook that I have finished the blog and it's up, and you can go over there and get the measurements. Okay, so 5.5, 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's very traditional. Okay, let me take that Post-it note off of there. Next is the inside fold, the Z fold part, and this is cut at 5 1/4, so a 1/4 inch shorter and 8 inches. All right, and so it fits in here, and then we score it twice. We're going to score it at 4 and then at 6. All right, and so what that's going to do is we're going to have, and we're folding the opposite. So this is, we're going to fold it this way. All right, so it's like a traditional book. And then this one we're folding the backwards way. All right, so it opens that way. Okay, but then this piece folds back on itself. All right, so there's my Z fold right there. And the reason we call it a Z fold is because there's the letter Z. This card has been brought to you by the letter Z. There we go. So that's that part. What else do we need? We need some designer series paper. And like I said, I'm using Heartwarming Hugs. I love this paper. And this is just a traditional, whoops, I pulled that off before I told you, 4 by 5 1/4. Just regular size, all right? And we're gonna stick that onto the front of the card like this, but I'm giving you a tip here. Do not get adhesive in the center where we're going to be cutting out the window, okay? Because we don't want the designer paper on our window piece. We just want the cardstock, but we want to make sure our designer paper is lined up with the window. So we're going to cut the designer paper and the cardstock together. Now, how do we do that? Well, we just adhere the DSP on here. So let me get some at the top and some at the bottom. And if you want even more, you could put a little on the sides, okay? But like I said, keep away from the center. And then we just line that up. Come on. Perfect. All right, so there's our designer series paper. And when we cut the star out, we can just have the red piece. All right, so we have that. What's our next step? Our next step, we also have another piece of Sahara sand, and that is for our sentiment, and that is just a 1.5 inch square. So just a 1.5 inch square for our sentiment. I'm gonna put that there. All right, and what else do we need? White scrap. All right, this scrap is for the leaves. I'm gonna have some leaves coming out for some spray back behind the sentiment, and we're going to place our sentiment on this cute candy cane striped strip here, and this is 3/4 by 2.5. All right, so we have that, and then we also have the gold foil here, and this is just a 3-inch square. It's just big enough for the die, and then also some adhesive sheet and you want to cut your adhesive sheet just slightly smaller than, well, here, let me do it on this side so you can see it's slightly smaller than the foil. And the reason why you want to use this is because it is a very intricate die. Let me pull it back out. And it would be hard to put adhesive on after you've cut it out, okay? And so that goes there. So 3 inches is a little big, but it was just, I just cut it at that size. All right, so what is our next step? We have all of that. Let's stamp our sentiment and our leaves. So our sentiment and our leaves, I'm gonna get all the rest of this out of the way. There we go, pull that over there. We have these two pieces. This is a photopolymer stamp set, which means it's see-through. Okay, see, it's see-through, which is great, except it doesn't have any cushion. Okay, our red rubber stamps have cushion. So if you're using a clear stamp, you want to make sure you've got a nice foam pad behind it, and it just helps for the stamp to stamp evenly on your paper. And where's my colors? Here we go. We have the real red and the pear pizzazz. You know what? That fan is blowing on me. It's kind of chilly. Let me turn that off. There we go. Oh, it also helps with the noise. Okay, so we've got our colored ink here. And, hey, Lynn says she's getting to watch live today. Well, hello, Lynn, and welcome. All right, I'm inking up my sentiment, and this is May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. Now, excuse my head. I'm going to lean over so I make sure I get the top of my sentiment to the top of my square, okay? And there it is. I try not to do that too often. There we go. Oops. Got a little smudge there, but it's not too bad. I'm going to let that dry for just a sec while I'm doing the leaves. And I want to share with you a little tip on the leaves. All right, so I'm going to first stamp the outline. Okay, so this is the 3-leaf sprig, and then we have a 2-leaf sprig. It's nice that they have both of these. All right, and then the tip I want to share with you. So look at the very tip of each leaf fill in, okay? And we're going to line those up as best we can with the tips here, and it should have our leaf color fall in there just right, okay? So pretty good. Kind of missed it a little bit there, but not too bad. And then here's this one. Same idea. You just line up the tips, okay, because you can see through it. I love that. And voila, that was perfect. Pull it up so you can see it better. There we go. And of course, if you don't want to use the fill-in stamps, you can just get your color markers and fill them in. All right, now that I've got all this stamped out, the first thing is I want this to be a flag tail. Very simple, just find the center. And if you don't feel comfortable just doing it freehand, you could take a template, take a 1.5 inch strip of just copy paper, fold it in half and find the center and then use that as your guide. But I feel comfortable enough, and I'm just going to take my snips and I put that right there in the corner and cut right up to where I came up the center. And now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to do the exact same thing right here. So I put the corner of the cardstock in where my scissors are, and then I just cut down to that piece right there. And there we go. We have a nice little flag tail. All right, so we can put that to the side. And then we need to cut these out. So let me get my dies that match with this. Whoopsie. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Excuse me, you guys. My dies popped off the... Oh, come on. And I have fake nails, so I can't pick them up. Sorry about that. Okay. Here's the 3-leaf die. And I use washi tape and to hold these down. They're so little, and I definitely do not want them to move before they go into the cutting machine, or we'll have funky cutout leaves, and we don't want that. Oh, Susan says, is there a Stampin' Up! Red in Winnipeg, Canada, so I can order without having to deal with duty and exchange? Oh, yeah, and plus you can only order Stampin' Up! Through the Canadians if you live in Canada. And yes, there is an amazing Canadian. I don't know if she's in Winnipeg. I'm not really sure where she is, but her name is Angie McKay. And I just love following her. She has some awesome stuff. So just type in, Google Angie McKay Stampin' Up! And she'll pop right up for you. All right, good question. All right, so I have those. Let's go ahead and get everything else ready for the die cutting machine also. So I have my large star here with my base. Put this over here. And we're just centering it. And you can cut, this is a graphic paper that you can find the center pretty easy. I have just the little circle part of the design there, and then it's like half there. So it's a little bit off, no biggie. I'm putting the top of the star up there, and if I put it right here where it's lined up there, it's probably off because it's not equal here and here. So I have 3 and I have 3, but I have more of that than that one. So I'm just going to move it over just a tad. There we go. Now I know I'm centered, and I need some more washi tape so it doesn't move, because we definitely don't want this one to move. We just got it centered. Okay. All right, so that one's ready to go through the machine. So we have these two. Next, I need the gold foil. So here we have the gold foil, and here we have the adhesive backing, the adhesive sheet. And these are great. They have like a little seam right there to pull off a piece of it, so you can actually hold on to it while you're trying to get it onto your paper. Okay, so once you've got that half on, then you just lift it up from this side. Come on. Me and my fake nails. Hold on, get some tweezers. There we go. Okay, and then just push it down as you pull that off. There we go. Now I have that adhesive back. Now don't pull that off yet. Wait till you go through the cutting machine. So let's get this on here, and let's just use a little washi tape. It doesn't really matter if this one moves as it goes in because it's not lined up on anything, but I don't want it to actually move off of the page. So we'll just go ahead and put that on there anyways. All right, I believe I've got everything that I need to cut out, and I'm going to come over here to my cutting machine. My large base I'm going to run through first. There we go. And next we're going to do these two. Okay. Now I'm going to run this back again because of that very intricate star. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it 3 times. I just feel better. I'd hate to take it out of here and it not have cut all the way through. And the reason why it might not cut all the way through, the more you use, this is another little tip, the more you use your cutting plate and the more cuts you get into it, this eventually, microscopically, but thinner. And it also become, you've got different spots where it hasn't been cut as much as it has, over here. And so sometimes the blades don't make it all the way down on all the parts of the thing. And I'm going to pull that up so you can see it better. All right, so it's cut through the wax paper, so I know it's cut through the gold sheeting. All right, and put those down, those off. There we go. Put this back in my machine. All right, so here are my leaves. One, I'm putting those with my sentiment. Two, put that off to the side. Now, here's the fun. And we're gonna lift that up, all right. Now, of course, you can use that for a stencil, or you could use that on a card. I love saving all these pieces. All right, we're going to lift this up. Now, there are a lot of parts on this thing, okay? Start poking as much of it out as you can, and then you'll have to just get the rest of it with your tweezers. Sometimes it doesn't want to come out as easy. There we go. I got a few of them out. Yep. But you can tell here it didn't cut the wax paper very much, but it did cut the gold. Once I've gotten here, I'm just gonna let that sit for a second. I'm gonna grab my red star. Here's my red star. All right, like I said, we don't want the designer paper on there, so we did not put any adhesive, okay? Pull that off, and you can use this red star for something else later. All right, let's put that over there. How we doing? Yes, Linda, they do. That's where I got it. This is called adhesive sheets. And you get a huge 6 by 12, 6 sheets, I believe. Yeah, of this stuff. It's great. It's awesome. All right, so now, here we go. We're going to, as we take this off, the wax paper back here, we want to try to keep the pieces from sticking. Okay, see how they're stuck to the wax paper? That's great. That's what we wanted. Okay, and sometimes they don't want to stay. All right, so there are just a few of them that stayed stuck in there, and these are the ones you'll have to just get and find some scrap paper to stick them onto. Where's that white? Yeah, here, they'd stick onto this great. All right, here's another one. Another one. Whoops, here's one. All right, whoops, couple over here. Woo. Excuse me. Oh, now I don't know how to say that. Is that Ray, R-I-E? She said it's her first time to catch you live. Yes, and usually watching YouTube. Well, great, welcome. We are so happy to have you. I hope you're enjoying this. Okay, so I've got all these little pieces out. Come on. Now what it did is it flipped back on itself, and I got adhesive on adhesive. That stuck. All right, and then this one here. There we go. Now I've got all the little baby pieces out. Move this out of the way, get my red star, and I just love red and gold. Isn't that gorgeous? So Christmassy. And we have our pretty star. All right, so now we have this part. What's our next step? Our leaves. We don't want to lose our leaves, and we don't want to lose our sentiment. All this other stuff, though, can get out of the way. All right. There we go. And we are at, we cut the flagtail, we cut the gold star, we cut the leaves, and we cut the big star. We want to glue the Sahara sand to the real red. All right, so here's the real red. Where's my Sahara sand? Here's my Sahara sand. We're going to glue this on here. And like I said, I like using liquid glue when I have an interactive card. Our Stampin' Seal is pretty strong. It's going to be fine, but just in case, I just like to make sure it's really stuck on there. Okay, and remember, it's opening both sides. So you want to adhere it into the card base so that it opens like this, okay? We've got that in there. All right, our next step, we are going to stick the gold star on the red star. I already did that. We're going to glue this red star to the Sahara sand through the window, okay? So here we go. We have our card base here, and we're going to close it up, and we only want glue right here. Do not get it over here, or you won't be able to open your card. Okay, so just right here. So let me get my glue here, and just a little bit will do you. All right, yeah. Perfect. Keep it closed so that you get it lined up perfectly. All right. And the great thing about this star particularly is it is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter if you accidentally turned it one or twice. It'll stay. It'll still fit in there. Okay, and I'm holding it for just a sec. Make sure it stays. All right, so we have our star in there, and so we open it up. Isn't that fun? Usually when you see these on Pinterest, they're made with circles, but I thought, how fun to use this big star. Okay, we've glued the red star in there. Now we're going to tie, tie a bow and attach it to the back of the cinnamon. I couldn't read my own writing. All right, this bow, so we're using gold, and we have from our Simply Elegant suite, the gold twine. Okay, gold twine, there you are. So it's a pack of silver and gold. It's called Simply Elegant Trim. All right, it's in the annual catalog. There we go. And we're just going to tie a bow, just like a shoelace. Okay, so I just make a loop and bring it through. Come on, nails. Be nice to me. Deep breath. Here we go. One more time. Get a bow and put it through. There we go. And you want a fairly large bow because the idea is that you have the loops showing on either side of the sentiment. So like this. Whoops, come here. So like that. So, oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I apologize. All right. So that's what we're doing. Okay. And get my snips. I love layering. It's a lot of people say, oh my gosh, how do you know what to layer? Well, let me tell you. First, you need a foundation. You need something for your layer to sit on. That is that little red and green striped strip. Okay, that was hard to say. And I'm missing it. Come on, where are you? There it is. So this is my foundation, okay? Then you want a fairly larger, whatever your central image is. In this case, it's my sentiment on this flagtail. All right, that's my focal point. All right, so my focal point is going to sit on a base, and your base can be a strip. It can be another shape, whatever. In this case, it's a strip. Then the next part to making a layer is making a cluster, is sticking stuff behind it that it sticks out. And in this case, we have the bow and we have the little leaves. Okay? And that's how you make a cluster. It's pretty simple. We're going to put some adhesive back here. And stick the bow on. All right. There we go. Then the leaves go in here too. The leaves are behind the bow. All right, the leaves are going to be behind the bow. So more on the paper, but yeah. So you can just use this part of the adhesive that you can kind of see there and just stick it on. And then this one, oops, come here. It's over here on this angle. Now there's not much adhesive on this side. Let me put a little more adhesive over here. There we go. Come on. There. And this little guy is going to just stick there. Not that far. Pull it in a little bit more. I just want the leaves peeking out. I don't want a whole stem showing. Yeah, perfect. All right, so there is my cluster. Okay, and then it's gonna sit on the base. And here's the base. And we're gonna stick it on the card. All right, let me double check, make sure I'm following my directions. Where are we? So we've tied the bow, we've attached the leaves. Now we're going to adhere the strip to the front of the window. So here's my window. And I want to make sure I do not get any adhesive here. Remember, you need it to open. So in that case, let's just go ahead and open it like that. There we go. And we can just stick our strip like right there. That's a good place for it. And we're going to have some there. And some here. There we go. Oops. Okay. Now that that's there, now we can put this on. And you can either center it like that, all right? You can lift it up so it's like that. You can twist it so part of it is on the strip and the other part is hanging off the strip. And of course, I love having funky angles, and so that's what I'm gonna do. And where are my dimensionals? Here they are. All right, so we're gonna, and you gotta be careful not to get in there too. So if we're doing this, I know I can get a dimensional up here, okay? And I can get a dimensional over here. There we go. And now we're going to put this on here. One more thing, you don't want any, if it's going to go over the edge, make sure it can bend so it can go through the envelope, okay? Or get into the envelope. There we go. That is nice and stuck. You like that? Let me pull it up one more time for you. Okay, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We have the base of the card done. Okay, so we have that part. But we definitely need stamping here and bling. All right, so let's do some stamping in here. Now, if you don't feel comfortable stamping once it's all put together, you can do the stamping before you put it together. And then that way, if you do make a mistake, you don't have to take your card apart. But I'm fairly comfortable. Even if I make a mistake, it's not too bad. Or you can just cover it up with another piece of paper. All right, we got that. Now, where's my sentiment? You should be in here somewhere. I know you're here somewhere. Come on, where are you? There you are. And this says, wishing you a joyful Christmas and a Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2022. And I'm just gonna center that right there. Okay, and then we have a stamp that is a star that kind of matches this. It doesn't have the stripes like that. It has little tiny leaves and berries. And I do want it to be offset. I don't want it to be straight up and down like that. So I am going to, yeah, right there. That looks good. Perfect. Okay. So then when they open it, they see that. Okay. Dot, dot, dot. Oh my gosh, so fun. Last piece. Bling! All right, now I want to show you something. On the one I made originally, I was using the Genial Gems, and I thought the green Genial Gems would be really pretty, but you cannot see them at all on that designer paper. I mean, you can kind of see them, but So this card, I'm going to use the, what are these called? Hold on. The Gilded Gems. All right, so let's put a couple over here. Oh, heavens to Betsy, that went flying. There we go. So we'll put one here. Oh yeah, you can say that a lot better. And oh, another one popped off. You got to be careful with these. Okay, and one right there. There we go. And one more right there. Yeah. Oh, I love that. And let's put a couple up here. And we'll use some of the bigger ones up here. Whoops. And perfect. Now we are finished. Yay! Fun Fold Friday. So we're calling this the Star Window Z-Fold. The Star Window Z-Fold. Yeah, that's a nice big name. And like I said, a lot of people, when I saw this online, used a circle. But I thought a star would be fun. So Merry Christmas! I'm so excited. So how many of you, what are you guys going to be doing this weekend? I'm going to be decorating sugar cookies with my grandchildren and finishing putting the lights up outside. We kind of are only halfway through with that. but it will get done. All right. And remember, people, this card kit, the Fun Fold card kit, is only available until Sunday. All right. And if you've already got all this stuff, you've got the stamps, you've got the paper, just order the tutorial. You'll get videos and the written instructions to put these together. But if you need to get the products, then you sign up for either option 1 with the stamp set or option 2 without the stamp set. Okay. You have a blessed weekend. I love you guys. Bye-bye.